the world is looking for good leadership. Today, the world is looking for good leadership, both in the organization and in political arenas, right? So because of that, they are trying to look at a situation where you can be able to understand what it all is. So the leadership topics are number 1, topic number 3, and 2, topic number 6. These 2 topics are about leadership. Then the rest relate mostly with the management. Okay, so what is leadership? In this topic, the things that you need to look at is the difference between leadership and management. In this particular topic, number 3, you need to know the differences between leadership and management. That is number 1. Number 2, attributes or skills of a good leader. What are some of the characteristics of a good leader? Why is it important? So that as a manager, you know the things that can help you to manage the organizations, you know the things that can help the company to improve and come out of challenges. On the same note, that is an area that is normally set in exams. They will ask you, what are some of the attributes that Mr. So-and-so, the CEO of Maitibu Enterprises, was able to have or to employ to make sure that the organization is able to come up or come out of the challenges. So that means that you need to know the theories, or especially the areas that relates with the good leadership skills and attributes, so that you can check whether the person in the case study possesses them. So let's start. What is the definition of leadership? I will not share the screen because one of the students that are here requested that if we do it them here, writing on the board, she understands well than when we are sharing the screen. So I want to check, or I want to change the way, the mode of teaching a little bit, so that we can all move together as per her request. So let's look at leadership. What is the meaning of a leader or leadership? What is the meaning of leadership? So there are things that you need to understand. When you talk about leadership, it's about influence, having the ability or the powers to influence someone's decision. That is leadership. While management is about the hierarchy. You are acting according to the position where you are. So as a leader, you need to know that you are given the power by the people, and you need to be able to use that power to influence their decision positively, if possible, right? So you can write we have different people who gave definition of leadership, but I just want to give you one of the best, which cuts across all of them. So we have somebody by the name Livingstone giving definition of leadership as the ability to awaken the desire to follow a common objective. So if you're having ability to awaken somebody's desire so that they can all move towards a certain objective, then that is leadership. Awakening desire is about influencing somebody. Somebody by the name Bernard also said that leadership is about the quality of behavior of the individuals, whereby they're able to guide people. They are able to guide people or their activities. You are able to influence somebody, or you are able to guide somebody and follow a certain line or direction. That is leadership. Then somebody by the name Thomas says that it is a process of influencing and supporting others. In fact, Thomas is now becoming very close to what the correct definition should be. Not that the other ones were bad, but we need to look at something that is conclusive. So if you're able to influence the decision, you're able to guide them, you also need to support them. Those are things that a good leader should do. You should be able to influence people to make decisions or to achieve their targets. You should be able to support them. You are also supposed to give them a direction, guide them. I want to write one definition by George R. Terry. You say that according to George R. Terry, leadership is a relationship in which one person influences others. Leadership is a relationship in which one person influences others, to work together willingly on related task. It is the ability to influence other, or it is a situation where one person is able to influence others to work together willingly or on related tasks, willingly on related tasks, willingly on related tasks, willingly on related tasks, willingly on related tasks, tasks on related tasks, to attain what the leaders desire. To attain what the leaders desire. So I think this one is a good definition because it's also the same as what Cons or Deal said, that is a process of influencing people to strive willingly to achieve objectives. Objectives are the desire, right? To achieve objectives, to achieve certain objectives. So we can point out a few things that you need to remember when you're talking about a good leader. That is the ability or process of influencing others to work together willingly or to strive willingly. To strive willingly towards the achievement of a common objective, a common or desired objective. So desired is what we want, and what we want is the common. So if you are in an organization and you are able to influence somebody to do some things, then you are a good leader. So the keywords here are influencing, to willingly. You don't threaten somebody, so it has to be voluntary to achieve then objectives, to achieve a certain objectives. Now let's look at the importance of leadership. Why is it good that in an organization we have good leadership? Why do we need to have good leadership everywhere where we are? At home, you know, like sometimes back, we have seen situations where maybe the first person who you can consider as the firstborn is somebody who is uncontrollable. Process. Yes, thank you so much, Winnie. That is what I said. That is what I said. Sadia is saying that if you may share the recording. Mbona una give up haraka, Sadia? Na hata tujaanza. Mwanza kutuja recording mapema aje? It's about just influencing people to
No, recording for hi, Malim.
Yes.
Hi, I was asking for the last revision recording for the last revision topic 1, not for today. Today I'm in class.
Moses is here, amesikia. Sasa. That is it. So let's look at this. I was trying to explain that in some cases, you might find that in a home or a setup, the firstborn doesn't have the characteristics of a leader. Ni mtu wa kelele, mtu hasikii maneno, he cannot be told anything that takes seriously. Somebody who keeps on postponing things is not focused. And that's where the secondborn or the thirdborn can come and take over. Alafu with time, unaona parents wanasikiza huyu secondborn or thirdborn more than the firstborn. Not because they don't like this person, but it's because this person is lacking some qualities of a leader. If you have the right qualities of a leader, then you can take people to the right direction, right? So let's look at some of the things why it is important to always have that continuity, to have leadership skills or leadership in the organization. You know, like from home where I come from, people normally value boy child, still called buyer. But imagine a situation where there is no continuity. Umefika mahali uko na wasichana wote, and then nobody can take over the leadership in that home. Wote wakiolewa, then now nobody is in that home who can take the mantle from the dad, right? So the same thing in an organization. As a good leader, you need to start training people. You need to start preparing them for leadership skills or leadership position so that they can be able to take over anytime. That is good for business continuity, right? So let's look at those characteristics or some of the importance of having a good leader in place. Number one, motivation and inspiration. Why do you need to have a good leadership or importance of leadership? First one is motivation and inspiration. Motivation and inspiration. And we're saying that a good leader, or through leadership, people are able to get motivated. They can be able to see what the leaders are doing, and then they get inspired, right? So the commitment and enthusiasm of a business leader or a leader in the organization restores hope. It makes them become commitment. It revives commitment on the part of the employees. That is why it is good to always have a good leader. Inspires them. So this one is very important because the employees need to now understand that we have somebody that we can look upon, and then they are able to take up the risk because that person can always protect them. You know, if there is no good leadership or you don't have leaders, then it's not easy to take a risk because you don't know where you can fall. And kama uko na uongozi mbaya, hautaki ku risk kwa sababu you can lose job, you can get into accident and nobody takes care of you. So you will not be motivated or inspired to take some actions, right? Whether they are good or not, you don't want to try anything. The next one is about creating confidence on the employees. Confidence. Somebody was telling me that him as a father, he will always create confidence on their children. So if a child comes and asks you, Dad, do you think that Baba Nani anaweza kupiga? Asema no, let it come. Because you are the dad, you are the one who has to give confidence that things are okay. Imagine if your father can accept that at one point he was poor in school, he can accept that he was beaten, he can accept that he cannot lead, right? So leaders should always be there to inspire us. So employees normally suffer emotional stress or problems that needs people to come and give them that level of confidence. And so one thing that you need to always remember there from this, it means that a leader should always be somebody who is self-motivated. Who motivates a leader? When we are expected as leaders to motivate our people or subordinates, who motivates us? Who motivates employees or really leaders? Because as a leader unaambiwa inafaa motivate other people. Who motivates you? So you need to be self-motivated. You need to have self-confidence, have confidence in yourself, and you always you need to be inspired by the things that you want to achieve. You might not be inspired by the leaders that you have. You might not be inspired by the employees, but the zeal, you know, the commitment you have to your job, to your goals should inspire you, The next one is about providing a good working condition. We are saying that the importance of leadership is that it provides a good working condition. Yeah. Normally people run away from employers. They don't run away from employment. Do you know that? Kila mtu anatoroka job, most likely is because of the employer. CEO. Because if it is accounting, the employer needs to give you good training, good system to use, and good environment with good salaries. But people run away from one accounting firm to another. The same job you're going to do there. So why are you running? It is because of salary. Salary depends on the management. It is because of training. It is because of the tools of trade, like now the system, all right? Or the environment. There are a lot of politics. There is a lot of ubaguzi, right? So when you start discriminating people at the place of work, then employees get demotivated. They can run away. So we are saying that as a good leader, you need to provide a good working condition for employees to be motivated. The next one, it helps to introduce it helps in introducing required changes. When changes come, it is the leaders who always introduce the changes and make people understand the current requirements in the business environment. So you can talk about helping in introducing the changes, required changes, and also it also helps in solving conflicts. Introducing positive changes in the business environment. The next one, we are also saying that it helps in solving conflicts. When there are conflicts among employees, they always expect a leader to come in and solve the problem. So any type of conflicts can come. It can be between employees and the management, or the bosses, can be bosses amongst themselves. It can be employees amongst themselves. It can be employee and customer. You know, when you have a problem with the customer, and your boss is there and amenyamaza, how do you feel? The customer is making noise. The customer wants to slap you. Like those who have ever worked in customer service, those who have ever worked in customer service, sometimes it becomes very tricky. You're saying that the board is not clear. Are you guys not seeing what I'm writing? Check your network. My network is not stable. Okay, so we are saying that sometimes you might have a situation where we are having conflicts in the organization, and you as a leader, you're expected to come in between and solve the problem. Those who have worked in situations in customer care or customer service industries, you can bear me witness that sometimes customer can even slap you because of the mistake of an organization, not even your mistake. You know, if you're working in the bank, customer can just walk in and start making noise that your stupid ATM card do not work, or your checkbook has not been activated. Nana kupigia kelele na wewe hata hujui nani alikupea checkbook. You don't even know that customer. Just walk in and start asking, who is here to help? Your stupid ATM cards are not working. I'm there in the banking hall, or I'm there at the ATM, and it is swallowing my card or whatever, and you have to pull this person down. So at that point, we need a leader who will come in and just tell the customer, sorry, we are sorry for that. Kindly have a seat. I have to sort you. We are going to sort you right away, and you'll go home with the cash. Let the customer cool and solve the customer immediately. And that requires leadership skills. So it is very important that we require leadership when it comes to conflict solving. Then the next one, which is number 6. Number 6 is guidance and direction. Providing guidance. I will not explain much in this. I think it is direct and direction. The next one, building morale. Building morale. How does a good leadership build morale? When people knows that the leader can be trusted, when he says something, it will be like that. You give a target, whoever achieves is able to be compensated, then that actually builds morale. Another thing is about giving them hope, influencing them, telling them that yes, you can, training them, letting them know that they have the ability to be like you become their role model, then that is also a way of building morale. So we are saying that you need to make employees realize that whatever plans they have can actually relate or can actually be merged with the organizational plan. You know, we have individual plans or individual objectives, and we have objectives of the organization. So you need to join them. You need to tell the employees that, you can always achieve your plan as you achieve that of the organization. And whenever they do well, you motivate them. So leadership is very essential for them to act as a group as well, because they know that even if you're working as a group, your individual performance, your individual contribution matters a lot. So you need to look at that so that they can be motivated. And therefore, in that case, we are saying that it's also help in team building or improving team spirit. For them to work as a group, we need a good leader. Improving team spirit. Improving team spirit. And then the last one, you can talk about coordination of employees. Let's look at the differences between management and leadership. The last one is coordination among employees. We have a leader in one department coordinating with the leader in that department. So coordination and flow of information is very important, and it becomes smooth. Differences between leadership and management. Can you tell me the first difference between leadership or a leader and a manager? So you say, initially I said that management comes from the organizational structure. It is a systematic thing where you become somewhere or you sit in a certain position by the virtue of the position you are having or you are holding. Unakaa kwa kiti ya presidency because of the position of presidency. Or you become a CEO because of the CEO. Because you are elected, it is a structure, you are elected there. So I want you to have this one clear. Leadership is through being given the position by the majority. Ni kama wananchi wamekupea hiyo position. They are the ones who are answerable. Sorry, you are answerable to them. So it means that wananchi ndio wamekupea hiyo power and you need to be answerable to them, all right? Then also, it doesn't matter whether you are learned or not, with leadership, as long as you have the right qualities, then they can elect you. We have people like Moi, who was not that learned, but was able to become a president, right? And the skills that he gained were unmatched, all right? And that is why he was able to lead for almost 24 years. So we are saying that the virtue, by the fact that you're leading people who have appointed you and pushed you to that position, then you are a leader. But we are saying that for management, it is an organization structure. Whether people want you or not, you are there because you are the CEO, because of that title, right? And they don't have option, they don't have a say. I want you to say that leadership is a virtue of leading people through influencing them. It is a virtue of leading people through influencing them to achieve certain objectives. It is about influencing people to achieve certain objectives, while management is a systematic, management is an art of systematically organizing and coordinating things in a formal way. You need to be able to coordinate, organize in a formal way. Look at the functions of managers. We have coordination, we have controlling, we have planning, we have organizing, we have staffing. When leadership, we are talking about influencing people, giving them hope, encouraging them. Right? So you look at this, that management is more of an art. So I hope that you say that. The next one, that leadership requires trust and confidence from their followers. Leadership requires trust and confidence from the followers. Leadership requires trust and confidence. Leadership requires trust and confidence. Leadership requires trust and confidence from the followers. Management only needs control of the subordinates. And management only needs the powers to control them. It doesn't matter whether they trust you or not. As a manager, you just need to give orders to make them do whatever you want by force or by whatever method that can be applied. I'm not sure if somebody is asking any question. You're talking about even through motivation. That is leadership. Okay? Leadership is about influencing others. That is the next one. That leadership skill involves influencing others, while management is the quality of ruling. Leadership skill involves this power to influence, or leadership requires skills to influence, while management requires the skills to control. Make it simple. The ability to control. If you can control, fine. That is it. But management is about influencing. Leadership is about influencing. And I want you to know something, that you can influence somebody through person, by forcing, or you can influence them in a positive way. And we shall be able to look at that. How does leaders, where do leaders get the power? Because you only influence by exerting power on something. You only influence by exerting power on something or somebody. The next one is that leadership has or involves foresightedness. Ni wale wanaona mbele. Wanaona mbele. Leadership demands foresightedness, but management has a short-term range vision. Leadership involves foresightedness, means that they can see far. Foresightedness. Wanaweza ona mbali. Foresightedness. While management has a short-term range vision. So managers always have a short-term thing. They always say that as a manager in the organization, not the CEO. If you're just a normal manager, you think about daily things, weekly things, what you want to achieve within a week, or monthly things, monthly targets, daily, weekly, monthly. So you're given a target, you're being told, make sure that you manage it so that you can make a good sale in a year, sale or turnover. You're given a target, turnover target monthly. Those are short-term things. What about if you are a leader? Leaders see things like in the next 20 years, we should be having affordable housing for everyone. And if they can make it achievable, then they're a good leader. A leader should think like in the next 10 years, I will not be driving but at least our road should be in good condition. So for that to happen, then we need to educate people so that they can be able to afford those cars that can be using the road. That is a leader. A leader. They are seeing things that will happen in the next 20 years. Anakubali. In the next 20 years, yeye hatakuwa akiendesha gari, lakini barabara inafaa itengenezwe. So for the road to be constructed or made, then we need to have people who are using this road. So we need to start preparing people now. We have engineers, we have doctors, we have accountants. These are people who can afford to buy and make the road usable, right? Leaders in organization, they will be thinking about vision, like the long-term vision, the strategic visions, like the CEOs, like the directors, the owners, the founders of the business. They should be having leadership skill because they can be able to see the problem before it happens. In the next 12 months, in the next 2 years, we should be here. That's what they're looking at. But the manager under them might not be able to see that because they are only given short-term things to achieve. The next thing I want you to say that the leadership, you can say that in leadership, principles and guidelines are established. In leadership, we give guidelines to be followed, guidelines like framework. So in leadership, principles and guidelines, then we have principles. Principles are things that you stand for, right? So there are things that you believe, and then there are things that you need to follow to achieve a certain objectives or to achieve what you believe can happen. So we are saying that in leadership, the principles and guidelines are established, whereas in management, we come up with policies and procedures. So the procedure in leadership is called guideline. In management is called procedure, right? Then we have principles. They must not have been written. Sio lazima zikuwe zimeandikwa, right? The principles. You believe in it. Like if you are an accountant and you are a good leader, you believe in integrity. It is not written anywhere in you, but it is a principle that you have. When you are in management, it has to be written that these are our values. Integrity, whatever, confidentiality. Every time you are being reminded about it. That is management. So those are policies. They need to tell you this is how you should be able to handle this, right? So we know that if it is about operations, these are operation policies. Credit, these are the policies. Maybe HR manual, they are CT policies, right? So you only follow whatever guidelines that you're given, which are the procedures and the policies. In management, in leadership, we don't have to write anything down as our policy. It is our policy that we have to serve everyone, and this is the procedure. We know it. If you know it without being written, then it is just a guideline. So in leadership, principles and guidelines are established, while in management, the policies and procedures are implemented. The next one is that leadership is always proactive. How do we say, or why do we say it is proactive? Pro, it means that before something happens, right? Ahead of. So we are saying that leadership is always proactive. So a proactive leader is a leader who is able to act in advance before eventuality occurs. Anaweza ona mbali. Like when I was going home last week towards the weekend, nikafika mahali Kisii inaitwa daraja mbili. Daraja mbili, watu wanauza kwa barabara mpaka on the roads, just next to the road. Mahali trailer ikipita inaweza kanyaga kila mtu. And we were asking ourselves, what are leaders doing surely? If something wrong happens right now, or trailer lose control, kila mtu atafiekwa. And that has happened. It happened recently in Kericho. It happened in Migori. It happens everywhere. So leaders should have seen. They become proactive and take action in advance. Wajenge market far away. And it should be mandatory for everyone who wants to do business to sit there and do their business there. That should be a proactive leader. A reactive leader is somebody who acts after the event. Ameona watu wamekanyagwa, ndio sasa anaambia watu tokeni. Wakati hawajakanyagwa anawaacha, kwa sababu it is the only way these people can vote him back, because he's favoring them. But who's going to die when an accident like that happens? So a good leader should always be proactive, not reactive. Don't always chase when things have happened. Think before it happens. And I hope that you rated that leadership is about proactiveness. So you can say that leadership is about proactiveness, or leadership is proactive, while management is reactive in nature. Management is reactive in nature. They normally come up with policies according to what they have seen most of the time. Fraud has happened. That is when now they come up with a policy to prevent fraud. When fraud has happened. When they realize that people can go on leave without having proper records, that is when now they buy a system. They are always reactive. They follow aftermath. The next one is that leadership brings change. Leadership brings change, while management brings stability. How does that work, or what does that mean? When we say that leadership brings change, so some years back we used to have a certain condition at home. Yeye ukimwambia aende apatiane kazi, kindly employ our youths, he will not accept. Anakwambia, if we employ these people today, if we educate them today, who will take care of our gardens, shambas? Who will go and graze for us? Who will clean our compounds? He wants the status quo to remain, the stability, so that he can always be at the top. You go and call him mzee hata kama yeye ni kijana. That is the kind of people that we know. Now, in management, we have such kind of things that happens. People will always have procedures to be followed, strictly the policies and procedures to be followed, so that things can happen the same way throughout without deviating. That is stability. And that is what management is about. With leadership, they always take risks on things that are not even written down. They always want to make changes. They want to see things moving on. So we are saying that leadership brings change, while management brings stability. Good management, things become stable. In an organization where we have good managers, there is no risk. There are no errors that happens, because you simply do the same thing, routine job every day. But leaders utasikia, they have tried this, a new product has come, they have done this and this and this. Those are not just managers now. They are leaders as well. So you might be asked an exam in a case study where we have Mr. So-and-so or a certain governor who is able to influence people and bring change in the organization. Then they ask you, what do you think is the quality, or what do you think he did that could result to such positive impacts? Then you can say that he's always pro-change. The person has influenced people or has made, has been an advocate of change, or is a good change manager. A change manager is a good leader. We shall be able to see the case study as we move on, but let's still look at the qualities of leadership and leaders. I want us now to look at the attributes and skills of a good leader. Attributes and skills of a good leader. What should a good leader possess? Attributes and skills of a good leader. Number one, the very first thing is integrity. Now, sometimes I'm sure you've been involved in a scenario where we have group, whether it is for welfare, whether it is from the alumni, or even from your village. or a group of former students or whatever name you call them, when they appoint leaders, ikifika mali ya treasurer, utasikia watu sasa wanajiulizana. In other cases, chairman, they just need somebody who is always talkative, authoritative, might have muscle, somebody who knows how to talk. That does not have anything to do with integrity much. When it comes to secretary, they might be looking for somebody who is very keen into details and has got good handwriting, right? And always attend meetings. But when it comes to treasurer, they look at integrity. So remember, the treasurer is somebody who keeps people's wealth, money. And the Bible says that he who cannot be trusted with a little will not be given the much, right? If you cannot be trusted with a little that you have, even the much or a lot cannot be given to you. So it means that as a good leader, you need to have the quality that make everybody believe in you. Even if kuna rumors ati umevaa new shirt, labda ni pesa yetu ndio unakula, mtu anatoka anasimama anasema no. For Dennis, we know him. Hata kama tujui mahali amepata pesa, tuko sure pesa yetu iko. Amevaa suti mpya lakini hiyo haiwezi kuwa pesa yetu. Why? We trust him. Integrity. So I want to say that integrity is a core quality that every leadership must possess. Integrity is a core quality. It is a core quality that every leader must possess. You cannot run a business successfully if you lack integrity. The next thing is about honesty. So honesty and integrity are quite the same. To be honest and have integrity is about almost the same. They're all about gaining trust. But we can say that to be honest, somebody that you can rely on in terms of information that you require. It's about having people relying on you. You are reliable because they know if so and so says so, it is like that. He cannot lie. You know, he cannot lie. That is about honesty. Utasema ukweli, hata kama watu wanakutaka, hata kama watakuacha, wewe utasimama na ukweli. That is honesty. Integrity is just being somebody who is able to gain confidence by integrity is about not being influenced by anything else. Personal interest, group interest, or whatever. Even if you are retiring home, unarudi nyumbani bila kununua gari, hauna nyumba ya ghorofa, unakubali. Ulifanya kazi kwa serikali na umerudi kwa mkono mtupu, right? Because you are just giving or taking what belongs to you. Let what belongs to Kaiser go to Kaiser, and what belongs to God go to God, right? So that is integrity. Let's talk about innovative. We are saying that good leaders should be innovative. It is boring to tell people same thing every day. You know? Paka hata unajua pale hata kuna kazi nyingine tutafanya. Si ile tu. A good leader should be innovative. Can you bring things that are changing people's mind that can make them become active? Let them have open mind. And a good leader, you need to have open mind, accept new ideas, try new things, accept changes in technology and in the environment. They need to listen to everyone actively and also motivate others, make them also become innovative. Maybe you never know, someone's idea can bring a positive change in the organization. Do you think that if Safaricom could not adopt M-Pesa, accept it and try it and adopt it, do you think they would be where they are today? You know that most people are on Safaricom because of M-Pesa. So when we have such kind of things where people are allowed to think outside the box, and as a leader, you accept things, be very active in trying them, implementing them, then that one gives you an upper edge amongst your peers. The next one is about self-confidence. And I mentioned this, that who motivates you as a leader? Where do you get confidence when things are not working? Like during COVID-19, most people are closing shops. You don't trust yourself. Kuna watu wajiamini. Anakwambia mimi hiyo siwezani. Imagine you're being told, can you sit on this desk when I'm not around? No, I don't think I can. So we're saying that confidence is found abundantly amidst true leaders. Only true leaders take that kind of risk. I'm trying to imagine that mtu amesimama anataka kuwa president, na hajai kuwa hata vice president, hajai kuwa hata minister, na anataka kuwa president. Imagine that level of confidence, that you don't even know the job that you're looking for. You don't have experience, you never even walk into State House, lakini you've submitted your documents, you want to be the president of the country. What are you going to do? That is the confidence I'm talking about. Having that self-confidence, even if you don't know where you're going to, at least you know you land somewhere. The solution will come. So we are saying that you can say that good leaders are sure about their competencies and leadership skills, even if they don't have experience. Like those the guys who became governors for the first time. There is no governor in the country. You don't even know how that office looks like. You don't even know what you're going to do. Lakini umesimama unakuwa governor. And they became successful. Some of them did good work. I congratulate them. That is now what we call confidence. Now we are saying that the next one is open-minded. A leader should be having an open mind. Allow information to come in. Call it leadership skills. You need to be able to listen. I can tell you that majority of people knows how to talk, but they don't know how to listen. Winnie, did you know that the most difficult thing in conversation is listening? Shafika mahali watu wanaongea watu watatu, lakini kila mtu anaongea. Kila mtu anaongea. So talking is very easy, but listening is not easy. Paka sasa inakuwa kelele na story wanapiga. Nauliza hapo watu wana fight ama nini? Mbona wanapigana? Now you have to raise your voice to be heard. So we are saying that good leadership needs to have people who are able to listen and understand people's opinion before they make noise, before they fume and run away and leave WhatsApp group. They need to listen to people. And also compare. Sometimes just listen and go and sleep and think over it. The following day you'll come and say, I'm sorry. I think I made a mistake to make noise for you before even you exit WhatsApp group. And we make a lot of mistakes with that. The next one is visionary. A good leader should be visionary. Should be having a vision, foresightedness or farsightedness. You should be inspired and driven by objectives. So we are saying that visionary leaders, they normally work hard for the greater good of the organization. They always want to keep themselves updated in the environment. They always want to keep themselves updated on the environment and the challenges that are facing people, the reality on the ground. Sijui kama umewahi sikia watu wakiuliza MP ama president ama vice president that, are you guys listening to the ground, what the ground is saying? Are you guys visitors in this land? Do you know what is happening? How wananchi are being affected? So why are we asking them? We are telling them that we know the kind of a leader they should be, but you're not. So a visionary leader is far-sighted and driven and inspired by what a company can become. They're inspired by what a company can become. They have good and greater ideas for the company and for themselves. They have and they ensure vision for the future of the company with perseverance. Sometimes you might find that things are not working well. Watu wanakuambia tuachane na hii biashara. Achana na hii biashara. We make losses every day. Yeah? Customers are not coming. Lakini you are seeing that person. You know, sometimes I was living in a certain estate. And I realized that there's nothing important as the question of why are you going on with whatever you're doing when you know that you don't have any other thing to do. Yani mtu anakuuliza mbona unaendelea kufanya hii kazi and you're not making profit? You're making profit. Okay, so how was I? So I was talking about a visionary leader, and I said that this is somebody who is seeing a good future with the people. He always believe in you. Anakwambia siku moja utakuwa mtu muhimu kwa hii dunia. So don't just put yourself or undermine yourself. Undermine yourself. Don't undermine yourself. The next one is self-confidence. No, that one I've talked about. Now talking about effective communication. And this one is very important in both organization and in social aspects, social life. Where there is no communication, things do not work. And in fact, today, most people divorce because of that. Is it true? For those who, I'm not saying that you have been divorced, but at least umewahi sikia mahali watu wamedivorce na shida ilikuwa, oh, we don't have understanding, is this challenge. People normally have challenges where we don't have good communication. A good leader needs to have effective communication because it is the only way you can tell people what is in your mind, and you can know what is in their mind, and you can also tell them what the future holds for them. Good communication, your effective communication. Yes, you communicate properly. Just say, mwalimu, mimi naona hivi na hivi. Mwalimu, mimi niko na shida fulani, right? Then assuming, and then you start making noise. Oh, nini. Talk directly to the right person and put it in a good way that somebody can understand. So effective communication is very good. Even through training, through coordination, you need an effective communication. You can say that if you are in a leadership position or role, good communication skills is one of the things or attributes that are very crucial. If you are in a highest position, good communication is one, or attributes is one of the crucial attributes that you require. Use the right language, the right method, the right time. Be a good listener. Explain yourself and your thoughts well for somebody to understand you. The next one is active listening. So that was number 7, I believe. And then number 8, active listening. Active listening. Active listening, we are saying that strong leaders need to pay attention. If you are a good listener, then you are strong. If you're good in speaking, then you are weak. You talk a lot, people know your mind. You listen to them, you know their mind. So who is strong? You know their mind, they don't know yours. You talk a lot, they know your mind, but you don't know their mind. Even if it is a war, you cannot win. So you're saying that good leaders are always made by training them on how to listen. The next one is delegation. Only good leaders delegate. Delegation. Only good leaders delegate. The ability to delegate effectively is a good leadership quality. You know, to delegate, Ruth, delegate is to give part of your responsibilities or your job to somebody else. Only somebody who is a good leader can do that. Because a good leader will delegate to somebody when you may trust. So if you can't trust people, why do you think people should trust you? That's number one. Number two, you can only delegate to somebody that you have trained. Ukiona mtu hataki kudelegate, it means that hata yeye anajua hajatrain hao watu. Anajua hao watu hawezi fanya hiyo kazi. Na mbona? Because he's not able to train them. He doesn't give them an opportunity to learn. That is a bad quality of a leader. A leader should be able to give some jobs that are not very risky for other people to do. So the ability to delegate is a good quality of a leader. A good leader who knows how to delegate wisely and make the best out of it is the best that you can have. Delegation is crucial for maximize production, for maximize production, or maximum production. You need to delegate. Huwezi fanya kila kitu peke yako. Na ndio maana unaona sasa nilikuwa nawaambia this semester I don't want to teach. I don't want to teach audit, advanced audit. I don't want to teach leadership and management. I just want to teach LM and any FM peke yake. I need to delegate because I trust my team. I know Mr. Maneno is good and is up to the task. So if I can trust them, because I know they can do it, that is a good thing for us. Right? So delegation is there. The next part is respect and humility. I want to try these two, the remaining part. I want to write humility and respect. Let me proceed. So we talked about humility. We are saying that leaders should be humble, right? Yeah. Usionyeshe madharau sana. Understand people. Should be able to interact with people at all levels. Then we have respect and then decision-making ability. The last one is transparency. Then we move to another area. Can we proceed? Okay, the next one, you've written transparency, accountability. A leader should also be optimistic. Empathy, should put yourself in other people's foot or feet, other people's feet, so that you understand. Inafaa ujiwekelee kwa mguu ya mtu usikie vile angefeel. You need to have that feeling, you know, empathy, trust, problem solving skills. And these are things that you don't need to explain a lot. You can explain them. You can self-explain in class, in exams. So right now, just say optimism. So optimism is from the term optimistic. A leader should not easily give up. Sadia, let me know that you guys are done up to 19. Are you done up to 19? Okay, you're through. Thank you so much. So the next part, we want to look at delegation and responsibility and accountability. That is something that was brought in exams. Let me check which year was this. Yes, this is the question that was said sometimes back. This is April 2022, and they were asking, with reference to aspect of managing, explain the following terms. We have power, authority, accountability, and responsibility. So you need to know those nitty-gritty things, like what is the difference between Responsibility and accountability. What is the difference between power and authority? Sawa. Yvonne, are we together? Responsibility, accountability. So, I want to say responsibility, comma, accountability. Sorry, delegation, sorry. Say delegation. Responsibility. And accountability. So we shall define them and look at the differences. So start with delegation. Delegation. You said that delegation is a process in which the authorities and powers are divided and shared amongst the subordinates. Delegation is a process in which the authority and powers are divided. It is a process by which or in which the authority and powers are divided and shared amongst the subordinates. Authority and powers are divided and shared amongst the subordinates. Then talk about importance of delegation. Importance of delegation, number one, it helps divide the work and allocate it to the subordinates. It helps divide the work and allocate it to the subordinates. It helps divide the work and allocate it to the subordinates. So the first one, we say that it helps to divide the work and allocate them or allocate the work to the subordinates or the employees. So if you have a big workload, then you can delegate. That is delegation. So it helps to reduce the work on the manager or the leader because people are able to do the work. Next, number two, you can say that reduction of load on superior. Reduction of load on superior. So that the superior can concentrate his energy on important areas only. And they're able to offload the work so that he can be able to focus on important areas only. They're able to offload and divide the work on important areas only. It also improves superior subordinate relationship. You know, if somebody is giving you work, huyu ni mwenye anakupenda. Imagine if you're working somewhere, but your boss does not give you any job. Wewe uko hapo, unasikia mwingine amepewa hii kazi, anafanya na wewe uko hapo. Even if you are getting salary, you'll not be happy Your colleague is acting as assistant manager. Your colleague is sitting in for the boss when he's not around. Your superior is going out to audit in branches. Travel to Mombasa, apende afanye kazi narudi. Na wewe hata hiyo kazi ya hauoni. You are not beginning with the work. The relationship becomes bad, you know. So we are saying that for us to improve the relationship, we need to start delegating these jobs. That shows that we appreciate, we give them an opportunity to act and learn. So improving superior subordinate relationship. Superior subordinate relationship. Improving superior subordinate relationship where the employees are able now to learn. We are able to delegate authorities and powers. We are able to appreciate them. The next thing, it also provides an allowance for subordinates to show their capabilities and skills. This is an opportunity for subordinates to show their abilities and skills. They can be able to show us what they are capable of doing. It helps subordinates to show their abilities. It helps subordinates to show their abilities. It helps subordinates to show their abilities. It helps the subordinates to show their abilities and skills. The next one, it helps to break monotony on the subordinates so that they can be more creative and efficient. It helps to break monotony on the subordinates. Since they are able to try new things, they become more effective and efficient. They become more effective and efficient. Breaks monotony. It also helps subordinates to develop skills and talents. It helps subordinates develop their skills and talents. Then the last one, it helps with business continuity, because when you have somebody who has been trying or testing or at least attempting to do something before, it is easier for you to loop him in when another one leaves. If I had an assistant manager who always acts as a manager, whenever the manager leaves, even if it's abruptly, I can be able to loop in the subordinate or the assistant to take over. So we are saying that it helps in business continuity. It helps to give stability. It helps to provide stability on business continuity. Let's look at the elements of delegation. Elements or principles of delegation. Elements or principles of delegations. Elements or principles of delegation. So these are the things that delegation takes seriously. The things that delegation values. Yani zile vitu yenye inafaa ifanyike kwa delegation to be appropriate. So those are the principles or elements of delegation. Number one, result exempted. Principle of results exempted. Accepted. The principle suggests that every manager, before you delegate, you need to clearly define the results. Or you can say that, you can even say that well-defined result. That is, a principle or element, delegation requires a well-defined result. You cannot delegate, you cannot give somebody a job to go and do when you don't know exactly what this person needs to achieve. Si ni ukweli? Ama unaonaje? Do you think it would be proper to be given a job or a duty or a responsibility when they have not told you exactly what to achieve? It will not be fair. So your boss needs to know what you need to achieve and they need to communicate that to you. And for fanya kazi hivi, at the end of the day, this is what you expect. So that is results, the principles of results accepted. So you can say that there should be a clear results and well communicated, clear defined goal, and expected, not even accepted. Expected. Results expected. There should be a well clear or defined results expected from the delegation. The next one, the principles of parity of authority and responsibility. Parity of authority and responsibility. Parity is basically the relationship between authority and responsibility. Now, if somebody wants you to do something, the authority is the power. Authority is like power, but responsibility is more of accountability. All right? It is accountability, but at the time, or being answerable at the time you're doing it. So being answerable. I want you to understand this. There is no way you can be told to do some job when you're not given the power to do it. Unaelewana? Unaambiwa wewe ni minister, lakini you cannot give order to any person to do the work. You don't even have the power, but you are told, we need you to construct this road. But you are not given the power to rule and to give orders and tell people, this is how it should be done. You need to balance the responsibility because you are going to be answerable, but hauna nguvu. You cannot give any order. The same way, you cannot be given the authority or powers when you are not being taken responsible. Why? You can misuse the power and nobody question you. So if you are not going to be questioned, you don't need that power. You can be a president who cannot be questioned, you don't need that power. Because you're going to kill people, you're going to make people become or increase the illiteracy level, the corruption level will increase and nobody will question you because you are not answerable. So why are you given the power? You should only have the power when you can also be questioned and become answerable. So we are saying that the principle in delegation, as much as you're giving somebody a job, give him the power that equates that job so that he can be able to answer things that were within his ability to influence, the ability to do or to handle. So we talked about the principles of authority and responsibility. This principle states that there should be a balance between the authority and responsibility. Both of them should go hand in hand. The next one is absolute responsibility. We are saying that the authority can be delegated, but responsibility cannot be delegated. When you talk about the principles of absolute responsibility, what do we mean? Principles of absolute responsibility. Principles of absolute responsibility. Absolute is almost 100%. And we are saying that you can be able to give somebody powers. As you delegate, you can delegate powers. You can give somebody full powers to do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you are the one who is going to be responsible. Sijui kama unaelewa. Today, the president can leave the country or can just be there. Lakini power zote amepeana for Ministry of maybe Interior, like the way Matiang'i was powerful. But whatever Matiang'i does or did, we will come and ask the president. So we are saying, as much as you can give too much power, full power, the responsibility comes back to you, the delegator, the person who is giving the powers. Because powers can be misused. And if that happens, who is going to be responsible? Who should we ask? Sisi kama wananchi hatuku appoint the minister. We only appointed the president. It is the president who decided to delegate the power and responsibility to the minister. If the minister misbehaves with the full powers that he was given and the full responsibility, the minister is only responsible to the president. But the president is responsible to the citizens. So it means that you cannot give away all the responsibility. You still remain accountable, even if you delegated it. It was you who decided to delegate it, but the position remains with you. You are still the president. In the long run, responsibility in terms of accountability is attached to the president. True. Sisi tutaona Matiang'i akifanya kazi vizuri, tuta appreciate. Akafanya mistake, Matiang'i only respond to the president. The president now comes to be answerable to us. Matiang'i is not answerable to us. He's only answerable to the president. With the powers that he has given, he's only responsible and answerable to the president. Now the president should tell us wananchi. So that is why we are saying, huwezi sema ati nimeachilia, ati I'm not there, ni huyu. Ndio maana unaona sometimes when something happens, they only ask who is the minister for this, because the responsibility remains with the delegator. So it was up to him to make sure that he has proper controls. Wakati ana delegate, ameweka control mechanism to ensure that nothing can go wrong, because huyu ni mtu wake, huyu sio mtu ya wananchi. Wananchi wana expect yeye afanye kazi. Yeye ndio amekuwa overwhelmed, akapeana. Amepeana kazi pamoja na powers. So he needs to ensure that he puts control in whatever he's doing with his people, such that when something happens, we are not answered. We can ask him and he's able to explain. That is how it works. So there is a principle of absolute responsibility that there is no 100% transfer or delegation of responsibility. You only delegate to some limit, but you know, in a back in a way, you cannot transfer 100% the way you can do with the powers. Those who want to write this, they can say that the principle says that authority can be delegated, but responsibility cannot be delegated 100%. This means that responsibility is fixed. 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 It cannot be delegated 100%. The next part is the principles of authority level. The principle of authority level. You cannot delegate what you don't have. Si ni kweli? Hata kama ni pesa, if I only have 100,000, I cannot give you 200,000. I don't have that. So powers, as much as you are giving authority or powers, you cannot give authorities beyond what you have. That is number 4. Principle of authority level. You only delegate up to your level of authority. Sijui kama mnanisikiza. There was this minister for health. Siku moja alienda huko Western. Kaanza kusema ati the OCS wa hii area tolewe. You are a minister for health. You don't have powers. That is not within your jurisdiction, right? So you cannot say that because you are a minister, just walk in and say that, OCS aende, GO, DPP, or whatever, OCPD. Achana na hizo stories. Those are not your level, right? So this principle of delegation, even if the president has delegated the powers, there are limits that the president has given you. You cannot go and act beyond what you have. And the same way, you cannot delegate what you didn't have. You cannot exercise what you didn't have. I want you to say in writing that the principles suggest that a manager should only exercise his authority within his jurisdictions. A manager should only exercise and delegate his authority within his jurisdictions. A manager should only delegate and exercise the authority within his jurisdictions. Now that we're talking about delegation, let's look at the types of delegation that we know. Types of delegation. Na pia kuna time ilikuja kwa mtihani. Types of delegation. Wacha niangalie ilikuwa mtihani. So delegation, I say that delegation is about giving the authorities and responsibility to someone else. I'm trying to look for that here. You can write this down. The year was August 2022, question number 4A. August 2022, question number 4A. The question was asking, examine 4 types of delegation of authority in an organization. 4 marks. Examine 4 types of delegation of authority in an organization. So we have types of delegation, and number 1 is called general or specific delegation. Types of delegation. The first one is general or specific delegation. This one is very simple to answer, to understand. It depends on to what extent. Like, for example, if you are a couple or you're living as couples, yes, August 2022, question number 4A. If you are living as couples, then it is known that your wife or your husband can act on your behalf. That is called general delegation. Yani anaweza fanya kila kitu. General delegation. And then we have specific delegation, like even vice president. Vice president is given almost general delegation. Wakati president hayupo, ana act kama substantive president with full powers to do what the president can do. But the same thing does not apply to the ministers. When ministers are there, they're only delegated towards their line. So in an organization, there are things that you cannot do. Those are called specific delegation. But the ones in a situation where you're expected to do everything that your boss was doing or your principal was doing, that is called general delegation. So delegation can be either general or specific. That is the first category. This one we are saying that it is based on the job assigned. Under general, the individual always perform all functions in their departments. Under general, individual performs all functions in their departments. But then under specific, The individual, under specific, the individual is only able to perform specific tasks or functions. Only able to perform specific tasks or function. The next one is formal and informal delegation. Formal or informal delegation. Under this, we are saying that this type of delegation depicts the degree of formality involved. It depicts the degree of formality involved. I give example between couples, and I'm saying that under couples, it is automatic, even though it is not written anywhere. The nature of delegation is not formal, it is informal. We have situations where some people act as PA. When the boss is not there, then PA can come, personal assistant. They can come and act. It is not laid down in certain procedures. Yeah, and act to PA, so anaweza is called informal. No, siku moja nilienda huko Ushago kwetu. There is a hospital with a few doctors. So the watchman has been there for almost 15 years. Mpaka anajua kusaidia wakina mama kuzaa. So unapata daktari on duty anaweza toka aende alale kama amechoka, and anadelegate hiyo kazi to the watchman, anaambia au wakikuja mpaka anajua kupima temperature, na ni mtu hajamaliza form 4. Watchman amevaa vizuri, hata unashangaa, na wakina mama wanampenda hata kushinda madaktari, anawazalisha. So ukienda huko anakufanyia first aid, anapima temperature, anakuambia hii hivi na hivi. When people are not there, that is informal. Nafanya ile kazi yenye sio well laid down, there is no proper structures, lakini ameambiwa shikilia. Informal delegation. Tuko pamoja. And then now we have formal delegation, where somebody is going on leave, anakuambia during my maybe leave, when I'm on leave or off days, these are the things that you can be able to do. Of course, those ones have some limits. I wanted to say that when an organization is part of, when delegation is part of the organization structure, 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 it is known as formal. When it is part of the structure, it is known as formal. In this case, this formality states that they are answerable to this individual. This formality states that they are answerable to the individual. That is a boss, because it is written down, it is in the structure. So you are answerable to the person who has delegated it to you. When it is not within the structure, it is informal. When it is not within the structure, it is informal. Informal delegation doesn't create any obligation. Informal delegation doesn't create any obligation. So if umeenda tu umefanya kitu na ukafanya mistake, alikwambia tu verbally, you go to court, you'll win. Namwambia, okay, you are saying that I was supposed to do it. Was I trained? What is the nature of contract? Is it written anywhere? There is no evidence. It is not written anywhere. It is not in part as part of their responsibilities. You know, it's just verbally. informal. So you are not accountable. So that is formal and informal. I want to look at the fourth one, which is top to bottom or bottom to top delegation. Bottom up, eh? Top to bottom or bottom top delegation. What happens with the one between the president and wananchi? President and wananchi. Is this top to bottom or bottom to top? Flo, Ruth, Sadia, and Yvonne. What do you think about this? Where the relationship between the president and the wananchi, is it top to bottom or bottom to top? Sadia is saying that it's top to bottom. So it means that it is the president who has the powers, delegating to us. That is what you're saying. Kwamba, you know, we are talking about where the power comes from. Imetoka from top to bottom. So that means the president is the most powerful, delegating to us. And so it means that we are answerable to him. Sadia, ni hivyo. From top to bottom. So in that case, the top has given us the powers and responsibility, and so we have to be answerable to him. What about truth? Which kind of delegation is that? Top to bottom. To me, I see it differently. We are not answerable to the president. The president is answerable to us. Sisi ndio tuko chini. Tuko kwa ground lakini tumemtuma huko juu. We have sent him. Go and do this. And you come and become answerable to us. In that case, delegation is bottom up. We are delegating. Wananchi citizen. Delegating to president. At the top. And the president is answerable. Now, the one that is bottom to top, top to bottom, is where the CEO or the directors have given responsibility to the managers. So we have directors at the top and the managers in the wako chini. When he gives president to the managers will work and report to him. Lakini a president or even MPs, it is called bottom to top. Sisi ndio tuko na powers. We are the ones who can give. Though tuko chini, we are the ones who can give. Tumeelewana? Then the last one is called lateral delegation, where the powers are delegated literally, laterally, or parallel. You can give somebody that is with you within the same level. When a minister for, let's say, agriculture is leaving the country, or minister for forestry, he can delegate the job to the minister of agriculture. When minister of education is leaving, he can give the responsibility to the minister of higher education. Kama ni ile enzi ya kitambo. You know, we used to have higher education and education. We used to have higher education and education. That is when George Saitoti was the minister for education. Was it George Saitoti? And Ruto was the minister for higher education. When I was in university, Ruto was the minister for higher education. So I'm old, isn't it? So it is called lateral delegation. It requires a group or team to work in parallel. Right? So it is where subordinates delegates tasks informally to people at the same level. Where subordinates delegate tasks to people in the same level informally. That is called lateral. Ruth, wakati unaenda off, you can tell your colleague to ashikilie, si ndio? Naambia I'm leaving but this is my desk. Florence, wakati unaita best yako akuja ashikilie job na unamwambia instruction, fanya hivi na hivi na hivi, mkubwa akikuuliza unasema hivi na mko na yeye in the same level. That is what we call lateral. Number 4 here. You are not his boss or her boss, so you don't give orders. You are only talking to somebody in the same level. Tuko pamoja, Ruth? That is called lateral delegation. You delegated. And it is normally informal, kwa sababu normally you are supposed to delegate the powers that you have to somebody in the lower level. But this one, you are delegating the powers that you have parallel in the same level. Thank you so much. So I think we can stop there for today. If we get more time, we shall complete topic number 3, then we go to 6, then we start case study as you move on with the rest. I might be calling you once in a while to come and attend class. Please present yourself. Don't be obstacle. Usilete shida. Shida utaleta in May, sio sahihi. In May, wakati sasa wewe sio students, you can call me for tea, we meet. Just call me for some tea in town, I'll be happy to come. Na ulete shida huko kwa hoteli, kwa nini chai sio tamu? But hapa, wacha tuende hivyo. So, we shall start class shortly. That is FM. Let's take a break of around 30 minutes. Then we start FM. Moses, we'll start after 30 minutes, so that we start, so that we can start FM. FM from 6:30. Okay, somebody is saying that that is Florence. When am I revising the revision? FM. FM, we can now revise, but I was waiting for everyone to share their solutions, the cut, everyone to submit, then we start revision. Na pia nimekuwa busy for the last few days. Are you sure all of you? Do you have evidence? I've been away, but now I'm back, so I think we shall start revising it soon. Thank you so much. I'll get.